Whoa! Well, holy guacamole, that wasn't pretty at all, was it? But they did it. They sure did, and that's 2 massive points. And I don't know about you guys, but I am so thrilled that tomorrow the Habs will not be playing the Flames. Because holy shit, does Daryl Sutter's teams ever know how to suck the life out of their opponent? Even for the fans watching. I mean, I was literally barely staying awake on my couch watching that, and that was an early game. They limited the Habs to only 20 shots yet again. That's 39 shots in the past 2 games for the Habs against the Flames. So yeah, hardly entertaining. But now it's a split with these guys this month, and it's something to build off. I mean, Tyler Toffoli had a big game. Nick Suzuki had another big game. Joel Armia looked pretty good. So that's good for sure. Now bring on the Sens, baby. Yeah. Okay, so enough of this chit-chat stuff, guys. Give it up. Let's get on with the game review here. But before we begin, if you're a Habs fan or just a hockey fan in general, and you're a fan of these kind of videos, please consider subscribing to my channel as I upload hockey content daily and would really enjoy if you guys tagged along for the ride. Okay, so the first period begins, and it's the Flames again getting the jump on the Habs. Daryl Sutter has his troops ready for this one, let me tell you. And they start firing pucks at Jake Allen, and they do a good job preventing the Habs from getting too many chances early. The Habs' Joel Edmondson takes a dangerous penalty for hitting Richie from behind into the boards. The Habs manage to kill it off with some good work from the usual guys like Lehkonen and Armia. Then the Habs get their own power play towards the end of the period from a Matthew Tkachuk penalty that I thought was a rather weak call, just my opinion. And the period comes to an end with Josh Anderson getting the Habs' best chance of the game so far, but he gets robbed by Jacob Markstrom. No surprise there, as the guy seems to have the Habs' number. The Flames finish this period off outshooting the Habs by a score of 13-6, and Jacob Markstrom, the guy is in my head, man. He's living there rent-free and is driving me absolutely crazy. Like, why does he look like Dominic Hasek or some shit every time he plays the Habs? Now on to the second period, and the Habs failed to score on their power play to start this one off. And shortly after, Josh Anderson pretends that he's some kind of a tiger tank or some shit, and he attempts to drive right through the Flames defenseman towards the net, and on the way he manages to draw a penalty. The Habs fail to score yet again, but do manage to get a couple of shots on net here. Then the Flames get a bunch of pressure deep in the Habs zone, with Matthew Tkachuk getting absolutely robbed by Jake Allen. Holy shit, what a save here with the paddle of the stick. And shortly after that, Nick Suzuki is behind the Flames net, and he feeds a wicked pass over to Tyler Toffoli, who walks right in and fires a shot that beats Jacob Markstrom up high and scores the first goal of the hockey game for both teams. Now with the Habs up by a score of 1-0, the Flames begin pushing back, and in the process, they draw a high sticking penalty from David Suzuki. Oh shit, wrong Suzuki. Got you now, bud. And somehow, before the power play begins, the Habs manage to attach a magnetic device to the posts and the crossbar behind Jake Allen. And holy shit, does it ever work, as the Flames ring the bell on this power play a couple of times and fail to capitalize. And then shortly after the power play, Tkachuk goes in and he hits the post again. So yeah, pretty crazy shit. A lot of clinkety-clackety behind Jake Allen, but hey, no biggie, man. The period comes to an end with the Habs up by a score of 1-0, but still being outshot by the Flames. Okay, now let's get on with the third period here. The Flames begin putting some pressure on the Habs, but Jake Allen continues to look solid back there until, of course, something bad happens. And that's something bad being when Elias Lindholm is in front of the Habs net. He falls down and says, hey, no biggie. He fires a backhander that is going wide on Jake Allen. However, it hits the foot of Ben Chiarots, who was in his first game back since fracturing his wrist, and unfortunately for him, he's the guy who redirects the puck past a perfect Jake Allen up to this point. Yeah, pretty frustrating shit. Darryl Sutter's on the bench just laughing evilly back there. Of course, now, there's no evidence of this, but I can sense it. Then Tyler Toffoli goes for a change, and he gives Michael Backlund a shot along the way. Kinda throws a little hit there. Backlund grabs Toffoli from behind, and Toffoli turns around, and they both, they hug it out for a couple of seconds. The refs blow the play dead, and both players go to the box with 2-minute minors each for hugging. Play goes on with the Habs getting a solid shift to 4-on-4. However, they fail to generate any scoring chances. Same with the Flames here. Then with just under 5 minutes to go in the third period, Nick Suzuki dumps the puck into the Flames zone. Joel Armia goes into the Flames zone and retrieves it, just like that golden retriever that keeps bringing the stick back. Yeah, he pops it out to Tyler Toffoli and he chips the puck up high, nearly in the same spot as before on Jacob Markstrom, and puts the Habs up again by a score 2-1. Now, Joel Armia did get credit for this goal when they announced it, although I thought for sure it was Toffoli that redirected this pass into the net, but maybe it hit a Flames defender. Who knows? But it did look like to me that Toffoli did it, so I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's Toffoli's goal. Now the Flames begin piling on the pressure. They get the goalie out of the net for the extra attacker, but credit to the Habs and Jake Allen especially, as they hang on for the win here. Not a very pretty one, guys, but hey. A win is a win. Take it for what it is. And let's move on. It's the Ottawa Senators tomorrow. I'll see you then. If you got any thoughts on this one, let me know in the comments section. Sayonara.